Hey Claiborne, it's Friday. As you know, I'm a big fan of Bricklink Studio. Earlier today, I finally downloaded and installed Bricklink's other software, Part Designer, and I thought I'd walk through some of the basics of the application. Before I get too far, I want to call out that this software is still very much in beta. It wouldn't install on my Mac, and my Windows machine occasionally got funky behavior. I had the best results when I was running Studio and Part Designer at the same time, which was a tip I found on the internet. Also, Bricklink really missed an opportunity by not calling this the Peacemaker. Okay, let's get started. When you first open Part Designer and go to make a new file, you get three options: minifig, parts, or from scratch. I didn't poke around with minifig. The second option is to add decals or textures to an existing part. I'm going to do from scratch. It's worth calling out that if you do from scratch, you can import studio parts, or you can import an LDRAW or object file. This gives a lot of options, and I'll have to talk about LDRAW and object files more in another video probably. If you don't want to use a piece, you get the basic things you need to build a custom piece: bricks, studs, bottoms, modifications, and holes, and a really hard to use eraser. I'm going to start with a plate, and for now I just need a 1x1. The plate is 0.4 on the scale, which is exactly what I need to know. But I need to clear off the bottom because it has the stud mount point, and we want to invert the whole thing. So for our purposes, I'll just clone the piece as it exists and stack it. In Part Designer, you have to clear off the borders you don't want there as you combine parts, like the middle line that's present here. And once I've got that, I can add studs. There are two kinds of studs, the filled and hollow stud. I'm going to use the hollow stud because it gives lots more options when I'm building, like sticking bars into the stud, for instance. The hollow studs have a direction, so I have to flip it on the bottom. And that's it. Now I can export the piece directly to Studio and use it. In Studio, in order to use custom parts, you have to change the palette. Other than changing the palette, it's a pretty straightforward process. I was curious because of the ability to import LDRAW and object files, so I checked if I could also export them, and sure enough, you can. This matters for lots of reasons, Claiborne. First, it allows you to 3D print custom bricks to use in your builds, which is great. The other reason is that you can bring object files into many 3D editors like Blender and use them in your models there. But that's probably a discussion for another video. Claiborne, I'll see you on Tuesday.